and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's what's happening in the territory. There was a Virgin Islands Police Conference held early this morning on St. Croix. News Channel 8's Wes Small was there and has this report.
There was a very important press conference today held at the Rainbow Command in Frederiksted by the Virgin Island Police Department. On hand, Police Commissioner James McCall, also Deputy Commissioner Novell Francis, also Police Chief of St. Croix, Oakland Benta, Police Chief from St. Thomas, Rodney Carrard, also Police Investigator Kenny Gittens was there as well. Address of concerns today was the Golden Grove Prison, as we did talk to the Attorney General Vincent Frazier by telephone, saying that the news Golden Grove lockdown has been officially lifted. Word on Derek Fredericks, the last of the 3 escapees who was captured just the other day, whether or not he will be sent off island, that investigation, that is still continuing. Let's go to that early morning press conference and kick it off with Police Commissioner James McCall.
First of all, I'd like to thank the media for being here. As we stated when we first came into office, is that we would be as transparent as possible, and that we would also provide you with information that we feel that would be important to the community. I would like to thank the community at this time for the cooperation and the assistance that they have been giving the police department in solving some of these crimes. I realize that we still have more homicides than we would like to have in the territory. My 2 chiefs will address those issues today to let you know that there are certain things that we are doing and that we have done to try to curtail this serious problem.
The police department is starting to turn the tides. We have seen some positive that's coming out of some of the reporting that's going on. So first of all, I'd like to thank the men and women of the Virgin Islands Police Department for their commitment and their steadfast energy that they have put forward for this police department. I think over the last 9-10 months, we have really seen where officers are going the extra mile to get the job done, and for that we want to say a big thank you. We also want to thank this community because, again, we certainly see that they're coming forward and assisting us in solving some of these crimes. The media, of course, I want to thank them. I think that the reporting has been fair. They have gotten out a lot of the information and in a positive light that helped this community to realize that it's important that they join in assisting us to resolve some of these issues.
This morning, at about 5:30 this morning, a Mr. David Phillip of Mamiju, correction of Science Farm, that is, was arrested based on charges surrounding the murder of Mr. Juan Barrios, who was shot in the Mamiju area back in June 28, 2008. Mr. Phillip, of course, is a person of interest related to some other homicides that we have, and the Investigation Bureau this morning executed a warrant. Some of the homicides we will get into today are those that are pretty much prominent, that his name somewhat surfaced around. And during the commission of that arrest, we realized that Mr. Phillip had some equipment that actually aided him in having some insight to what was happening within the realms of law enforcement.
Now, many concerns raised today was by Police Chief Oakland Benta as he spoke about your children. Just the other day, a dozen children from Central High School were arrested. Yes, 12 students from Central High School arrested. Let's go to that part of the press conference with Police Chief Benta and a message and a warning to you parents.
The Department of Youth Rehabilitation, of course, for obvious reasons, for the time before he was shot, because of course we realized that there's been a spin-off of concerns from people and definitely threats towards those individuals of the Ginger Thomas area. Last week we had a fight at the Central High School. 12 students were placed under arrest. Unfortunately, that decision was made as a result of not seeing that the young men, and of course there was some young ladies involved, not being able to quell the matter on their own, and it seemed like that situation was going to be a spin-off of other matters. Jointly with the parents who were here at the Rainbow substation, the parents who were very cooperative agreed that this matter has been going on for some time, and that they themselves have lost control of the matter despite whatever counseling was delivered to the children by the administration of the school along with the parent. Today I must say that when those children were taken before the Judge Steele, as a matter of fact, of the Superior Court, a request was put into the judge to have those minors report to my office every Friday for a month to sit down and talk and see where we at, to see what they have done to mend and actually use the terminology of talking with each other and mending the situation. Unfortunately, that fight left one child hospitalized where he received sutures to his wounds. Another almost lost his eye. Another received a laceration to the back of the head. And as you notice, these are head traumas. And you know that it's not hard for a person to succumb to those injuries. As you know, there's a young man who was punched some time ago, fell and hit his head, and subsequently succumbed to those injuries. And here we have our young man.
Guns on the street. That is definitely a major concern of police chiefs in this area. I'd like to take you to the part of the press conference of Police Chief Rodney Carrard from St. Thomas as he talks about over 100 weapons that have been confiscated on St. Thomas streets already illegally. And we'd also like to show you some of these illegally confiscated weapons.
This gun situation, it really bothers me as to the number of guns that we're recovering on our streets on a daily basis. For instance, in the St. Thomas district and the St. Thomas St. John district alone this year, we recovered 103 weapons. 103 weapons. That's 103 guns that could have been used against one of us. And it's a good possibility some of these guns were used in homicides. And of course, we're following all these. We're following everything that we can to track them down. But again, this gun situation has to be dealt with. And it's going to take us as a community to get more of these guns out of the street so we as a community don't have to face them. We have been getting many calls from citizens, and a lot of these calls led to some of these guns being taken off the street. We are asking the public to continue calling us. We're asking the public to give us specifics. Whenever there's a situation where shots are fired in your community, try and, if you see an individual, give us the best description you can as to what he's wearing, who he is if you know him, if he stuck the gun in a car, if he stuck it under a rock behind a tree. Give us specifics so we can get that particular weapon off of the street. Even if it means that we can't make an arrest because the gun was on the side somewhere and we can't tie the individual, still that's one less gun we have to face as a community.
One question I had for Police Commissioner James McCall was about surveillance footage. The fact that this journalist that has been in the business for 20 or 30 years has not seen one police surveillance tape in this side of the territory. Why is that? Any other place you go, you have surveillance tape. After all, this place is small, and we could nail down criminals and suspects in a timely manner. I put this question to James McCall. Why don't we have surveillance tapes accessible to the media, Commissioner?
You know, and I actually agree with you. But let me get back with because I was working with the Attorney General's office, and there was a reason that was given. But I think we'll probably work through that. And but I agree with you. You should show the footage because I'm sure that there are individuals out here that know exactly who these individuals are. Let me confer with the Attorney General's office again, and I'll see if we can get this information out.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, there you have that story. Many concerns addressed today at that police conference. Another suspect picked up in another homicide. Also a warning about your children and their activities to, from, and in school. What's going on at the home and also inside of our schools. And most important, to keep our streets safe. That's all the information you have from Rainbow Command at that police conference held earlier today. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.